Hey everyone, what is happening? So our first lesson back from an extended spring break here and virtually is going to be a little quick recap on male reproduction. Just so that we're all on the same page, we have sperm. And this is when we did the sperm follow the leader. We talked about the different parts of the male, and we're just going to go through just the anatomy of a sperm, and then the different parts or the different things that are added to sperm, and then just a quick recap of the hormones. All right, let's get going. So we have our little sperm there, and the top of it is called the acrosome, and then we have the head. The middle part is the mid piece. This is where all the mitochondria are. And then our final piece is we have the flagella. Now, we've got the parts, and then we've got our pathway of sperm. The first one was we have the seminiferous tubules, and this is where the sperm are made. Our next one is the epididymis, and this is where the sperm mature. After they've matured, and they usually mature, this is all in the testes, by the way, they're maturing for at least about 10 weeks, and then they go outside of the vas deferens. And this is what is cut when someone gets a vasectomy, all right? So it's the vessel leading out. Now, it's going to go through a series of glands, and the first one is the seminal vesicles. Now, these add a thick mucus. They add a thick mucus. And this mucus contains fructose, which is a type of sugar. And this nourishes the sperm, making sure that the mitochondria have enough energy. And then we also have an alkaline fluid. And this is a neutralizing fluid, so that because the vagina is a very harsh environment for the sperm. All right. So once it gets past the seminal vesicles, it goes through the prostate gland. And what the prostate gland does is it adds zinc, and the zinc is there to help maintain the structure of the DNA. And it also adds citrate. And citrate is there to also provide some energy. Now, with all this, there's a thin milky fluid, and it also nourishes the sperm. The last gland is the Cowper's gland, and this adds an alkaline fluid to neutralize urine that is still in the urethra. All right, so it's got an alkaline fluid as well. All right, so we've got the structure of sperm, we've got the pathway of sperm. Now we're just going to quickly go over the hormones involved in sperm production and secondary sex characteristics. All right, so we've got hormones. So in our brain, there's this part of our brain called the hypothalamus. So we've got our hypothalamus, and this is also going to come into play in when we do female reproduction in a few days here. All right, so the hypothalamus releases gonadotropin releasing hormone, and what this does is it targets the anterior pituitary. All right, so the anterior pituitary is targeted, and then the anterior pituitary releases two different hormones. And you probably remember this. We've got FSH, and that stands for follicle stimulating hormone, and we have LH, which is luteinizing hormone. They both target two different things. All right. So FSH, now follicle stimulating hormone. Follicles are kind of like eggs, but in this sense they are sperm. So the follicle stimulating hormone that's going to get released into the bloodstream and goes and gets to target cells. It targets the seminiferous tubules, which makes them make sperm. So it causes them to make sperm, which is fantastic. Okay, so we know this is called spermatogenesis, and then the meiosis takes place. So remember, we're going from 2N to 1N. Every other cell in your body is going to be is 2N, and then the only place that goes through meiosis is in your testes or ovaries. All right, and so from every mother sperm cell, we get 4 sperm. All right, now along with FSH, we also have LH being released, luteinizing hormone, and they target the interstitial cells. And this causes the interstitial cells to produce testosterone. Okay, now the testosterone, remember we talked about this in class, testosterone is a hormone that has a negative feedback loop. So what this does, testosterone is monitored by the hypothalamus. Now as testosterone goes up, the hypothalamus says, oh, we can stop, we have too much, so now it produces less gonadotropin releasing hormone. Now, when less testosterone is monitored, then it releases more gonadotropin releasing hormone, and then it just goes along like an oven. All right, so it'll go up a little bit and then down, and up and down and up and down, and this is our negative feedback loop. All right, so that's our first little lesson, and all we're going to be doing now is getting into the structure and function of female reproduction. I hope this was a good little refresher, and we will get back to female reproduction shortly. Take care.